This is, with the new ban list implemented, Malice has been nerfed into the ground, but now they can use Signet Mining. Is it for them? Let's find out within these duels. We have Centurion, Dracotail. This is game one. Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Now, while we have the double special summon negate of the Wave King Caesar plus a monster negate of the Forbidden Droplet, what else do we have here? Is this Golden Mad Lord going to do something? We do have the Fiendsmith in Paradise on an opponent special summon who could send a card from the field to the grave. That'll be a fourth form of disruption. We do have the Agnumde to, whenever it wants, reborn a monster from a grave. Okay. It has to target a light, non-link fiend in your graveyard. And the Golden Lord is going to be a zombie. Okay. What's the synergy here? We got fiends and zombies. Primera, setting up with a field spell, special summon Trudea from the background that will trigger the Paradise to send a card on the field to the grave. Now, quick little ruling. The Trudea had an effect in the background of special summon, but the Caesar did not negate. Well, it wasn't a choice. It just can't even negate it. It's a spell or trap card or a monster effect is activated. Now, it is considered to be a continuous trap or continuous spell. However, the card is worded. It is a trap in this case, but this specifies it has to be the activation of the card, not the activation of the effect of a trap. Thus, it wasn't even activatable. We have Rextremde in the graveyard adding a tract. So we didn't even use the effect of the Desiree to send a card from the field to the grave. What the heck? Desiree, when sent to the graveyard, target a card in the field, send it. Instead, we used Rextremde, which is not properly summoned, so it can't be reborn from the graveyard through the Agnumde, just to add a Fiendsmith track for the next turn. What is going on? Legatia is here. We may use the Forbidden Droplet on that Legatia. It's a non-target pop onto the Wave King Caesar. We're going to send the field spell to negate and reduce the attack mate. Now you have to remember, the field spell cannot be negated by Wave King Caesar. It has to be the activation of the card, not the effect, unless it's a monster. Now we have the Delta Invitation. If a monster is added from the graveyard to the hand while this card's in your graveyard, you can add it to your hand. Activating the Gargoyle effect in the hand to special summon itself onto the field, negate and destroy. We haven't even used our Key 2 Dracotail yet, which can be negated by Wave King Caesar. Lacrima returning back the Rextremde. Oath is setting up the Phalanx into the back row. Are we summon locks from even doing something like this? No, these are summon locks onto themselves, I believe. This, what is this? This card, where's the summon lock on this? You cannot special summon Trudea for the rest of the turn. This one is you cannot special summon Primera for the rest of the turn. Sure. Lacrima, in the end, we just scooping it up. Okay. Damn. The Oath locks? Why was Oath not on the Lingering Window? Special summon from the extra deck. Okay. I guess I was looking at it early, as we then activate afterward. Extra deck has to be Centurion only. Damn. And it is for the rest of the turn, right? Yes, for the rest of the turn, while you control that card. Okay, so it's not a lingering effect in the lingering effect window. It's tied to the card that you control that you placed, which was the set Phalanx. Okay, so the Phalanx being set did lock us out from doing the Dracotail plays. All right, let's place a Centurion from your deck in the spell and trap zone as a continuous trap for the rest of the turn while you control that card or any card with that original name. You cannot, so the set of the trap does not lock you, only if the card that you place face up into your back row or whatever is going to be only then locking you while it's face up. Sure. So there was no summon lock on the Oath. Yes. One of the best things to do at Blazar is negating a normal summon. And generally, Centurion's not able to negate a normal summon because the opponent, being the turn player, has player priority to make the first play in the main phase, which could be that normal summon, before we get to use our stand-up Centurion to make our Blazar Dragon. So if we do have that opportunity to summon Blazar early, we do get the immense benefit of just straight up negate. Now, in addition to that, we have Trudea and a Try from the back row to summon, to go into another Synchro summon, which will be another Disruption plus draw a card. We have Fuse with the Femina play. Crossout Designate, I'm not going to say is Disruption. I would say we have about 3 forms of Disrupt. Blackout Laughs. If we have a way to discard that, it's going to be a way to turn off a monster from activating on the field. What the Kaiju? Santa Claus is here, searching for the Santa Claus with a Fiendsmith Tract. Say goodbye to the Blazar Dragon. A Try is going to special summon from the back rows. The Crimson Tier going to send from the deck Engraver here. We're going to be triggering the field spell. As we Chain Link block the field spell from something like an Impulse, even though they're a light deck. Randomly draw, as we now fuse Synchro, that is, into Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel, using the Santa Claus and the Atri, now gains the dual benefit. All of our Synchros are unaffected by monster effects, and all of our monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. We are going to use the effect of Chaos Angel to banish away the Crimson Tier, as the Droplet is going to negate the Chaos Angel here. Only unaffected by monster effects, not spell and trap cards. As we now have Requiem. How do we deal with the Requiem? Well, we have a Femina play. Femina fused with Urgula plus one of our cards to then make an Arthalion, right? That's what I'd be thinking. Send the Auxilla. We're going to use the Primus effect, triggering to reborn itself from the grave after our Auxilla has been outed. We may be waiting for the sequence. Once sequence is summoned, now we also have to fear a Wave King Caesar. So ideally, we're going to get rid of a sequence, or we're summoning before a Wave King Caesar comes out. And this is the moment. Woo, just like that. What do you declare at this? You declare Dracotail Arthalion. So now a newly summoned Arthalion will not be activatable, but that's okay. We could change our play into Gulamel. We summon a Gulamel if we play it, right? We do, of course. Gulamel, then in response to our in-grave Urgula triggering, we have to be the direct chain link to it to then pop a monster on the field. Does that mean Drex used this too early? No, you actually have to use it this early. You can't wait for the Arthalion. It does not negate, it prevents the activate. This is it. Gulamel instead, exactly what I said. As long as you don't have a card to chain link block the Urgula, we then get to Gulamel, pop a card. But we're now thrusting. We could thrust any spell we want into our hand. And what will that be? A Reasoning. What do you declare? You know he's playing Eldlich. Eldlich is level 10. If you don't call level 10 and they mill an Eldlich, it summons onto the freaking field. He called level 6. Okay. Was that the correct play? Let's see if a level 6 is revealed. Level 6? Uh-oh. All of the Eldlichs and Golden Lands are in the graveyard now. Transaction rollbacks in the grave to copy a Trap Engrave. So we now gained an additional play in addition to whatever we're summoning, as we can copy whatever normal Trap Engrave. And what did I say? Eldlich, the Golden Lord, level freaking 10, is here. And now we get to make the sequence, which is what we try to prevent them from making. Sequence fusing the graveyard into the Fiendsmith Lacrima. What will transaction rollback copy Engrave? We could copy a Daruma if we want to flip the whole field face down. Egnumde is going to give piercing battle damage. There's no way we have some sort of lethal play, right? Now, the Primus, I think, has a secret effect happening right now. Cannot be destroyed by battle. That's it. Just straight up cannot be destroyed by battle. All right, maybe we're not going to know that. The Eldlich Golden Lord is reborning from the graveyard after sending the Fiendsmith sequence to the grave. We're going to Delta Invitation, add back to the hand, as the Eldlich Golden Lord was added back to the hand. Pierce over the Primus. Wipe out the rest of the monsters here. Not enough for a lethal damage play, as we now activate the Delta Invitation to send from the deck a Wandering Titan. I don't know what the heck this is. What? Field Spell sends Wandering Titan of Tartarus. This is kind of a new card, right? If this card is sent from the deck to the grave, send as many cards you control as possible to the graveyard. And if you do special summon this card, then send cards your opponent controls to the graveyard up to the number sent to the grave by this effect. We sent how many? Where is this? We sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. The opponent now has to send 5 cards, but we get to choose, right? Your opponent, then you choose the cards you send your opponent's graveyard, 5 of them. Neither player can activate monster effects in response to this effect's activation. What the heck? Sends everything but the field spell. The field spell can activate to play a card into the back row beyond the turn it was activated. Now we have our Thalion and Gulamel triggering to reborn itself back onto the field here. Is it correct to trigger both as soon as possible? Would it be better to trigger just Gulamel and then wait for 2 monsters to be sent to the grave again to then separately trigger the Arthalion to then chain the Gulamel to the Arthalion trying to reborn, because now the Gulamel's not going to get popping. And that would be if the Gulamel didn't already activate this turn, which it already did. So this is okay, but if it had not activated, then you'd want to change it. Typhon. Plan L is here. Return back the Arthalion to the extra deck, which when it leaves the field, it gets banished. We still have Transaction Rollback and Grave ready to copy. Dimensional Barrier probably. Declare Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Caesar, Pendulum, and then that can't be summoned for the rest of the turn. That's it. Now, this is a Fusion and a Synchro deck. What do we declare? Probably declare Synchro. We have Elixir of the Glorious Golden Land. This is all off of a freaking reasoning. Insanity. Aquero could banish a card from the graveyard. Now, the Glorious Land, what will this do? Special summon this as a normal monster. Then if you control Eldlich, which we will, you could return 1 monster from the field to the hand, non-targeting. All right, get ready for a non-target return. We have Banish from the graveyard. We're now going to Urgula, try to add back the Femina. Now, the Aquero is going to be on the lower chain link as we stack the plates. The higher one will be summoning an Eldlich. Once the Eldlich comes out, then Aquero is going to be banishing away the Femina. Crimson Tear, reborn herself, reborn the Agnumde back onto the field here. The Golden Lord is now ready to give the Aquero the additional effect of banishing the Urgula. Thus, the Femina does not add back. We now have stand-up Centurion, discard to play into the back row, the Primera. Remember, we could copy Dimensional Barrier whenever we want. Or Daruma. What do we want to do? We're going to return a monster back. Get rid of the Gulamel. Rahu Dracotail did not chain to copy Dimensional Barrier. He doesn't care about Arthalion. Okay. Now, we are going to copy the effect of Daruma Karma Cannon. Flip the entire field face down. If something can't be flipped, oh, we're scooping. We won because of 1 card. Reasoning. Reasoning won the entire duel, milling out a ton of Eldlich cards. Drex is a mad lad who loves to play Malice, and the week that Malice has been hit by the ban list, he has switched on over to Eldlich. Very nice. And thank you, Plu. Happy to see Dracotail Centurion. Let's go. Well, instead of hand traps, we have Horus cards. That was a choice. So if these are not good hand traps, they have to instead be really good at breaking the board. So really do focus on the Horus portion, eating up as many disruptions as possible from the opponent before making our real plays. And if it doesn't, then this is not a good idea to play, right? Unless we're just trying to sack going first. Luke is searching for the pan as we have our Spirit of Blue. Let's go into Heretic Seal, which will return a face-up card back to the hand. We can call with the Grave Finger the Heretic Seal. Amseti Horus. You really do want to ash this effect. Add the King Sark plus draw an additional card. Not going to be able to finger the Heavenly Spheres. Finger away the Maxi, and let's get our draw play. Add, then +1 into our own Maxi, which is now dead for our own turn. Bro, you fingered yourself. Did you forget? You just did it. What the? Whoops. We did it on purpose. We want a fair duel. Sure. Arthalion, reborn. King Sark is going to allow the Imseti and the Dumatef to reborn back. King Sark, discard, further send from the deck, happy, reborning itself back onto the field. Turn both bodies into the Divine Golden. Whatever this does, doesn't the Heretic Seal bounce it back unless it's a quick effect or a trigger effect? If this card is special summon, you can add. So it activates on special summon, which will play around the Heavenly Sphere. Sure. But the Veiler is going to freaking negate. Damn. Now what? This will be searching for the 7 Tacheyon, which could help search for a Ryzeal card. At the start of the battle phase, we're going to bounce back the Happy, summon in Urgula from the deck, and now we're going to make our main doo-doo plays within main phase 2. Send a glove from the deck to the grave. Femina is going to fuse at the hand and field going into a Gulamel. Pan's going to activate to destroy a monster, as the Gulamel will further destroy another. 2 monsters be gone. Say goodbye to the Go-Go Glove, as the Pan's going to non-target destroy the Doo-Doo Warrior. Now we should be done, right? I think we got completely thwarted. Astrotopia is going to summon. We're going to then add an Onomata pickup from the deck, sure. Add an Onomata card from the deck. Onomapera, you can send a card from your hand to the grave to activate this. The Max C we discarded. Shite. We now needed Max C. Damn. Okay, next duel. Gulamel, wipe out the Divine Golden. Add back. Lucius, come to me, Pan. Key 2, fuse on resolution. Arthalion, bounce back, and then just lethal damage, please. Come on. Is this untargetable? Can you just win the freaking duel? Attack. There we go. Very nice. Game 2. We're dealing with an Ash and a Femina plus the Pan, which is going to be dealing with at least 2 monsters on the field, possibly more if we go into Arthalion. And the Ash, in addition to that, how can we play through all? I'm Seti getting Ashed is going to be massive, but it does tank the protection for the Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia will now be able to grab 2 cards in the deck. This is it. Now, Ghost Bell, unfortunately, is no good against the Pan, as we add the Doo-Doo Warrior and the Coat. Come forth, Doo-Doo Warrior, send the Glove from the deck to the grave. Glove will activate, reborning itself from the grave. Glove will further be activating, special summon the Coat. We're holding on to Femina. We are not using it early, but now we are. This is going to detach to add a Photon or Galaxy card from the deck to the hand as a spell speed 1, so before it even activates, let's just wipe it all out. That's it. Be gone. Lucius Chainlink blocking the Arthalion, and there goes our entire freaking turn. That is unfortunate. Pan destroy the Coat, and we have an impermanence. Yeah, just... it do be that way. Imperm onto Lucius. They got the Key 2. They got the Rahu Dracotail. It's big rip. Ran, if you have any cool replays of this deck saved to your profile, that would be good to know, my friend. I'm happy that you brought something interesting. Unfortunately, you kept on getting negated. The Divine Golden got negated on the previous turn, and then your Photon Dragon got negated. I want to see what else you could do. I mean, we see you have a Galaxy Tacheyon Dragon in your extra deck. Damn. Another Tacheyon deck. Did something new come out? What's going on? You have double Retaliating Sea, Purge, and Apophis Serpent. Let's activate the Cloud Dragon and special summon from the deck, Tacheyon Primal. Purge will negate. As we attempt to add a Tacheyon spell / trap from the deck to the hand. Now, 7th Tacheyon. Come to us, Bestial Lubellion. We are not searching for Ryzeal cards here. With the Bestial Lubel, we're going to grab the Magnum Hut here. Magnum Hut, banish away the Cloud Dragon. Magnum Hut, activate to search for a dragon in the end phase. Reborn back our Lubellion. And now we're going to Super Polyfuse away the field before it activates to play a face-up branded Lost or the branded. As we're now going to grab an Infinity Dragon. This card is what you need to Ash. Now, the Tacheyon Transmigration is only activatable if you control a Galaxy-Eyes monster. Thus, we just have Ash. Retaliating Sea, if we get this into the graveyard, we will be searching for our Max C. Silahat Rabbit will be searching for a continuous spell. Garura, draw a card. Ash, negate Retaliating Sea. We didn't chain link block the Retaliating Sea from searching for Max C. Maybe we'll randomly draw into one anyway. The Man, but we already used up our normal summon. We have the Anguish Pattern with the Apophis Serpent. So we're going to be able to... Ooh, red reboot. Damn. Now, to activate this, what do we need? If you control no monsters, that's going to be the big play. This will be able to pop a card in the field. We're going to be able to also negate with the trap we set from the deck. We also have Nibiru. Not going to really count pop in the back row as a disruption. Let's go. Infinity Dragon. Red reboot. Negate all of your traps. You get to set a trap you want from the deck. No more traps for the rest of this turn. And now besides Nibiru, there are no other forms of disruption. We just have to play through Nibiru. Infinity Dragon plus summon from the deck Gargoyle. We're going to tribute off the Infinity Dragon for Lubellion. Lubellion activating to play the Brand of Regained as we now go into the Shadow Dragon. Summon number 4. 7 Tacheyon needs another card in our hand to return back to the deck, so what are we doing? We're going to rank this up into Draglubion, but now we're in Nibiru territory. Draglubion's going to summon from the extra deck into the Neo Galaxy-Eyes Tacheyon Dragon. Tacheyon Transmigration. If you control a Galaxy Eyes monster, well, this is our Galaxy Eyes monster. Should we have Nibiru the Draglubion? Is this a quick effect, a trigger effect? It is a spell speed 1, so before this activated, that is when we had to tribute off the field. We waited too long. Negate, and it returns back into the deck, right? I thought it returned back. Negate, shuffle the negate cards on the field, only on field back in the deck. Now, we swung into the Still Hat Rabbit, which can't be destroyed by battle. Now, what else does this do? Once per turn, detach a material from this card until the end of this turn. Negate the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects on the field. All right, well, they were under red reboot, so there was no reason to use that. Man, with the mark, trigger, regain, reborn back, the Magnum Hut. As we're going to Anguish Pattern. The Anguish Pattern and another trap being summoned, we're going to get popping. Multiple cards on the field. Pop, pop, pop. Magnum Hut will be activating a search for a dragon in the end phase. Still the Hat, wipe away the regained. As we're going to use the Song of the Dominators, negate an activated monster effect on the field. We're not negating the card, just the effect. As we now have Treasure of the Kings. We are going to set an Apophis trap from the deck. If we have 2 or more set cards on the field or a trap in the grave, we can add a monster from the deck. As we're now going to summon the Merciless Scorpion Circuit, which will be adding the Temple of the Kings, activating a newly set trap the turn we set, as we now have an Apophis Swamp Deity into the back row off of the summon of the Apophis Serpent, which will be triggering the Anguish Pattern per trap monster summoned to wipe away a monster in the field. Negate both bodies on the field, taking out the Draglubion, further sending 2 bodies on the field that are traps to the grave to summon the Divine Serpent. And just like that, despite having a red freaking reboot and the Transmigration trap negate onto Nibiru, it was not enough for game. Okay. People are playing red reboot for Dracotail, and then if you're not playing an Odeon deck, you have to deal with that nonsense. 7th Tacheyon Purge is going to negate. Now, the Purge states that, what's the downside of this? Dark Water Fire cannot be activated, so the man is unaffected. Is there any dark, I guess your access code Talker, Dark Water Fire, your Typhon will not be activatable. All these other dark monsters in the extra deck are not activatable. We have the Shadow Dragon Dragaluxion, Song of the Dominate, negate. Now this one states that monsters cannot activate from the hand or in the graveyard. As we add another Purge in the deck, we're now going to turn this into Harbinger. Harbinger can negate a spell and suck it up. Spell card or effect is activated, yoink it. Besides a Super Poly. Double Dead Fluid Loss. The man grabbing Temple of the Kings here. Droll Lockbird, no more adding from the deck for the rest of the turn. As we activate Super Poly, what the heck does this summon? When you fuse a man and a Harbinger together, you get a Secretarion. What the heck? Dragon and Spellcaster. Treasure of the Kings will not be able to search the deck due to the Droll and Lockbird. As we have Temple of the Kings to now activate the Apophis Serpent, special summon, further set from the deck, our Swamp Deity. Further special summon itself onto the field, just for extra damage. Not enough for lethal, we still have the Purge ready. As we're gonna just recycle them back. If you're wondering, why is you wasting his negate, right? Well, by attacking with them, then main phase 2, putting them in the graveyard, we have the negate right and ready back. Now, it's not just one negate, we have 2 negates. And any special summon dragon or spellcasters will not be activatable from the opponent. And also, this states that When a trap card's activated on a separate chain link, we're then going to destroy a monster, target a card that is, and destroy it. That's a triple form of disruption plus the purge. 4. Well, Typhon is here. Okay, we're just going to destroy it. We can negate it, we can destroy it, we can set up another negate. Just like that, mate. Even red reboot's not enough to keep the man down. Setting up the other non-target negate, trigger the effect, wipe it away. Not 3,000 attack, 28. Damn. Mina, come forth into our Thalion. Let's speed this up. You have Ash, which will be good for the Rahu Dracotail. There it is. Add back the Mina. Add back the Pan. Rahu, we're gonna Ash otherwise is good just used for the trap. And we also have Ghost Spell. So for both traps, if they try to negate a spell and or return back a monster, just double negate. And you're also preventing them from further drawing into potentially more hand traps. Key 2, Malulu, normal Malulu pass, we're ready. If they want to negate a spell, return back a monster, we have double negate enemy controller. This will be good for chain link block and the Gulamel potentially. We have Wagon. Activate searching for the field spell mate. Now with the field spell, we're going to be able to draw up to 2 cards per turn. Also banish from the graveyard a special summon from the hand. In response to summoning from the hand, we have Max C. He is prioritizing his Ash for a trap instead of negating a Max C. Are you out of your mind? Deer Note, summon from the hand with the Wagon going into the Dragon Drive. Dragon Drive on someone's going to add from the deck. As the Deer Note will further trigger to reborn back onto the field of the Wagon, we're going to Sting, banish from the grave. Do we Bell or Ash the Sting? Yes, we do. You do not banish from the grave, you do not chain Gulamel to pop a card in the field, and you do not draw a card. Now what? Wagon's back. We can make a level 11 Synchro if we want. We have Punk Seaman to the hand, but we already used up our normal summon. And we use the effect to summon it from the hand. Randomly drawn to Wedgie Temple. Psychic and Punisher. How do you deal with this? While your life is less than your opponent's, this Synchro Summon card is unaffected by all of your opponent's activated effects. We're at 68, they're at 8k, completely protected. Rising Scale is going to banish the graveyard a special summon. Malulu is going to chain Fusion Summon. Gulamel had nothing worth popping, so we're just holding off on that effect. As we now have our Thalion. Our Thalion using 2 cards from the hand to return up to 2 cards from either field or graveyard back to the hand. Rising Scale triggering to summon a monster from the deck. As we are now going to be triggering the Pan, a non-target pop. Our Thalion's going to return back the Max C and the Malulu. Malulu's going to negate the Rising Scale. Since you're going to negate me, non-target negate, I'm going to enemy controller dodge the negate, and I'm going to take control of the Gulamel. Also chain link block the Gulamel. Yoink it. Any meta where enemy controller is good is a good meta. That's not this meta though. Set the Rahu. Goodbye to our own Gulamel. Put it into the graveyard. Now when any 2 monsters are sent to the graveyard, the Gulamel will reborn back and be ready to pop a card in the field. Punk Seaman is here. It is a spell speed 1. So they do have the opportunity to respond to its summon, which we did not, adding a Foxy Tomb from the deck, triggering the field spell again to draw, which we had opportunities to pop it. Double Psychic and Punisher? What the heck are we doing? Foxy Tune, discard a card on resolution to summon from the deck, Shirakusai. Psychic and Punisher, send the Shirakusai, banish that is to banish a monster on the field. Now down to 4,600 life. The lower our life points are, the bigger the Psychic and Punisher can become during the battle phase. Ash Blossom, negate the Dracotail Flame. We held on to this Ash. We could have negated a Rahu during the previous turn. We could have negated the Maxi during this turn, which he has 11 cards in the hand, by the way. Resolving the Wedgie Temple to put a Senju into the back row to summon it to then search for our Golem. Golem, come forth. Golem special summon. Can we stop the 1-turn kill? Femina will attempt to do it. Now down to 600 life. This is it. Trigger at the start of the battle phase, trigger at the start of the battle phase, both over 10,000 attack, wipe away the Gulamel, say goodbye to the Mysterion. Not enough for a game. You what, mate? Okay, as we now activate the Spenta to search our deck for the Crowley. Crowley, when added, will trigger the special summon. When special summon activate, Fusion Summon. Fusion summoning into a Was. A Was is here, which I believe this could take control of a monster. Wait, how does this work? If this is unaffected from activate effects and you snatch steal it, you take control of it. What the heck? Target a face-up monster, equip it. If this card's equipped to an opponent's monster, take control of it. Yoink! What? Your Psychic and Punisher's mind, exactly what I just described. At the start of the battle phase, boost to 18,000 attack, but it does not matter. No way. Damn. Snatch Steal was an idea against the Pirellia, the Purely, the giant Purely, just yoink it. Wow. Okay. Nuts. All right. I don't know what kind of mindset we go into game 2 after that one. Our only disruptions are the Little Knight and the Call of the Grave. What is going on? Crowley triggering when being added to activate to attempt to fusion summon. And that is going to be the Little Knight attempting to protect the Psychic and Punisher from being taken control of. Wow. No play. Urgula and Pan are bricks. So are the traps. 4 freaking bricks? How unlikely is that? Reborn, a milled unicorn searching for a cached hero birth. Psychic and Punisher is going to banish the unicorn, further banishing away a card the opponent controls. We have Millennium plus the birth, as we have Dracotail Flame to negate the Millennium, as Little Knight Chain banishes it away and the Crowley. Open field for the Psychic and Punisher to swing in for game. This is it, unless we draw on a good hand trap. We did not. Nope. We're not going to be going to battle phase first. We're going to summon a unicorn. We have the Sting. YOLO, drawn to our final hand trap. This is it. Another brick. Brick, brick, brick after brick. 1 and 1. What? We passing. No play whatsoever from Dracotail. Share Kusai in response to the effect of Fusion Summon. We have a Fua loss. You know what? All right. I haven't been fingering your Ashing, your Fua, or Maxi. But then he has another Fua loss in response to our Ash negating the first one. How fair is that? Well, we are going second. We do have the pressure to attempt a 1-turn kill play. Will we go all the way? Rising Carp without this would be an Ash Blossom or an effect to just deal with it before it activates. It's not a quick effect. It's not a trigger effect. So let's do this. Femina into our Thalion or Gulamel to get rid of the Rising Carp. That will be it, as we do have Droll Mockbird now, which is pretty good. If we have further plays to make, except the Rising Carp is our main play to make. Setting up the Kitu, the Rising Carp has been targeted by our Thalion, so we'll be returned back into the extra deck, as we now unfortunately end our turn. Bell, Ash, Droll. We're going to Ash negate the Kitu, Dracotail. It's a Cope negate. Is Urgula in graveyard? It is. So when he attempts to Urgula add back, we could use the Bell potentially. Sure. Femina will be used to our Thalion during the opponent's turn, possibly. We do also have Maxi and a Magnum Hut. Punk Seaman is here. Searching for the Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune it up. Chain Maxi in response. We do have Droll and Lockbird, but that will also turn off our own ability from adding from the deck. Dear Note draws a card. Where happened to our Droll? We sent the Droll for the Foxy Tune. What the? Dragon Drive's going to be adding from the deck, as the Punk Seaman's going to boost up its attack, as also the Dear Note further reborns the Punk Seaman from Engrave. Now our level 11 Synchro is ready. Ghost Ogre ready for Yummy. Psychic and Punisher. Are you ready? Boost it up. Not enough for lethal damage, unfortunately. Now, one of the outs to Psychic and Punisher is to, if they boost, I guess you boost once, that's fine, because if they go again into the battle phase, you boost again, they're not going to be able to attack into you. Otherwise, if you don't boost with Psychic and Punisher, they will enter the battle phase and they will self-inflict damage to themselves until they are lower life than the Psychic and Punisher to then affect it. We do not have a Crowley play here. Q2 add the Lucius. Lucius will be adding a Femina. Lucius ling off into the Artemis. Femina is getting ready to fuse up our field into Zorora. Zorora with the ability to negate a monster. Ghost Ogre is going to destroy him before he equips the Artemis to activate the effect to search the deck for a Spenta and then search for a Crowley. Well done. Good use of Ogre. Ghost Bell negating the Urgula effect to add back Lucius and Grave. How do we deal with unaffected by activated effects? 8,300. We can continually enter the battle phase to get that big boost. Why is this normal summoned? What if they have the thing that returns it back to the hand? Wouldn't that stop the Psychic and Punisher? Isn't that risky? Do we have to target a face-up monster we control? Okay, well, he doesn't have the trap, so it worked out. Faye, Mina, come forth, Arthalion. Arthalion target cards from either player's field or graveyard. Malulu's going to further set from the deck. Target a monster and one card, banish them. So you'd actually have to bounce it back before the Psychic and Punisher even activates. How do we got to give it piercing battle damage? Is there any way to do that? They link 2. Bro, Rain, put the link 2 in here right now. What's the link 2 called? The freaking dinosaur decks play it. Who knows what it's called? What's the link 2 that pierces? Piercing, Link, Pentastag. That's it. If your linked monster attacks, inflict piercing battle damage. It's going to be quite difficult to get a Link 2 out while they're continually setting up disruption to even get that piercing damage. And I can't believe we can just take control of this. Oh my Jesus. Yoink, you're unaffected from activated effects. Don't mind if I do. For game 1, we took it and used it against you, and for game 3, we finished you off with your own card. Let's go. Let's speed this up. Two spell negates, which is going to be a big deal. Full spell goods, not negating. We have evenly matched in the graveyard now. Ryzeal, Dead Knight, wipe away the delta of invitation. Well, you think you got me, but I wanted you to activate, so I can now thrust a card into my hand, which then you can negate, and then if not, you can then negate. Oh well. Let's hop into game 2. Set 3 pass, we have Dimensional Barrier to disallow them from summoning from the extra deck or activating whatever the card we declare, which we could declare Ritual, and then Ritual cannot be special summoned. This will be it. We could wait for a Ritual card to then declare Ritual as we add the Mitsurugi Ritual, and this is it. Now we declare Ritual cards are illegal. Yay, I love Floodgates. Now, the transaction rollback is going to be useless because it needs to copy a trap from the opponent's graveyard. We're going to Prayers, add the Kusanagi, Reborn back. We could still rank 4 Xyz. We have our normal summon, add back Engrave the Ritual. And that is that. Tornado Dragon can pop the transaction rollback. What the? You helped him. Transaction rollback can now copy any trap card in our own grave. Thank you. Monster Gate needs a monster to tribute. Well, let's summon a monster. Okay, Ash Blossom Negate. Well, Triple Tactics Talent, because we chose to activate that in the main phase, we now can draw 2 or take control or look at your hand. What we will choose to do will be to draw 2, cross out Designate, negate the Triple Tactics Talent mate by banishing my own copy. But now I could thrust into my hand the grass looking greener, to mill a ton of cards here. Almost 30 cards off the top of the deck. Holy moly, let's see the log here. Wow. We do have Evenly Match, which could be copied by the transaction rollback. And a quick ruling on that, because a lot of people are confused on how the card works, is if we look at a card like Evenly, You see the green part of the card, which is the activation condition, you still have to meet this. It would be in the red that you could ignore. So what would be something in the red? If you look at a card like Raigeki Break, you could see that in the red, discarding a card, you could ignore the part of the red except the red part that says could target a card in the field. You still have to have that part. Now, let's do it. Wandering Titan is activating. I thought this sends cards from your own field to the graveyard. What the heck is going on there? Oh, is it a mandatory? It's a mandatory activation. It just sends nothing. Sure. As we now reborn the Engraver. In response to that, we have a Max C. We're now ending the turn. Now, it looks like we're ending on nothing, but that is far from the case. We have Blackout Lash to declare any monster on the field that cannot activate. And then we could also, with the transaction rollback, we could copy an evenly match at the end of the battle phase. We could copy a Daruma to flip the whole field face down. We have lots of... We could even copy the Dimensional Barrier. Also, the Eldlichers are going to be activating Grave. Golden Land, Eldlicher, come to us, Scarlet Sanguine. We're going to pop away the Monster Gate, mate. Now, what will the transaction rollback copy? As we now make a Little Knight. Little Knight may be banishing the transaction rollback or the Dimensional Barrier. Thus, the transaction rollback is going to copy the Dimensional Barrier before it gets banished away. Ritual monsters are now, again, illegal. But we can now do Exceed Summoning. Do we now lose? That's it. What other cool plays do we have? Well, we do have the Blackout Laughs to declare it onto the Duo Drive, right? That's maybe going to be a good play to stop them from further searching, but they already have a lot of Ryzeal cards in hand, as Prayers will be further reborning back onto the field to Kusanagi to add back Engrave the Prayers. Special Summon the X-Ryzeal, going into Dugaris. Dugaris detach, draw 2, skipping our next draw phase. As we wipe away Engraver, we have no direct attack thanks to the Little Knight. Now, Eldlich, reborn back the Eldlich Golden Lord within the opponent's end phase. Where are we going with this? How do we win? Reasoning is how we're going to win, yes. We're going to tribute off the Eldlich to summon the Fallen Angel of the Golden Land at 1800 attack, wiping away the Little Knight. As we now activate the Blackout Lash, declaring Ryzeal Detonator, as it now cannot activate to pop cards in the field, but in response to the reasoning, Max C. Now, we have to declare a level, and if we continually mill our deck until there's a monster that can be summoned, if the level is declared correctly, the monster is sent to the grave instead of being summoned. No good. No good. Another transaction rollback in grave. Another Dimensional Barrier in grave, which the other one was banished. You incorrectly declared the level of 4. A level 1 was revealed, thus summoned, and then turned into a Little Knight to banish away the back row prayers. We're now going to use the effect of the Fallen Angel to summon an Eldlich monster from the extra deck. Prayers, 800, reborn the Kusanagi, summon the Mad Golden Lord. Tribute a zombie monster to take control of a monster permanently, right? Take control of it. Yoink. Your Ryzeal Detonator is mine, as we're going to copy the effect of the Eldlich to summon an Eldlich onto the field during the end phase. Thank you for the Detonator. It's mine. And we turned off the Detonator from being able to pop itself thanks to the Goat Laugh. So we planned it. We knew that we wanted to take control of it, as we now, third time in a row, Ritual monsters are now turned off. No Ritual Summoning for you. As we go into the Light Dragon Ignister to pop a monster on the field, but the Ryzeal Detonator could protect our own monster from being destroyed potentially. If you pop the Eldlich, it will simply just come back during the next turn. So we are going to take out nothing. What did we happen here? Detach, destroy up to the number of Ignister monsters you control. Well, we control none because the Little Knight banished it away. We're going to chain the Detonator to the Prayers, popping away the back row, Great Purification, as the Kusanagi further adds back the Prayers. There's a lot happening in this duel. We now have Conquistador summoned during the end phase, pop a face-up card in the field, trigger the effect of the Eldlich, send to the back row Huquero. G really needs this duel room, and it's an extra long duel. What the heck? Speed this up. Come on. Send the Conquistador to summon the Eldlich from the graveyard. We're going to finger it, banish it, negate. Normal summon Crimson Tear, send from the deck the Fiendsmith in Paradise, wipe away Kusanagi, as we're going to Great Purification, reborn back a Reptile. Huquero's going to say no. The Ghost Spell's going to say no to the no. The Ryzeal Detonate's going to wipe away the Ignister Light Dragon on the field. Pop it. Negate it. Don't banish it. And it's going to then reborn attribute another monster. The other monster's not there, but it was already activated, so there's just no other monster to tribute. We try to resolve as much as possible. Say goodbye to the Saji on special summon, which does trigger the effect of the Fiendsmith in Paradise, thus lethal damage. Reasoning is activatable more than once per turn. This card is limited to 1 in TCG. Let's see what's good. Mitsurugi Ritual out our Habakiri. We're going to have a Call by the Grave, Maxi, Ash Blossom. The Murakumo Field Wipe, also going to force them to discard a card potentially. We also have Futsu to make it nearly impossible to clean up the field. We do have Evenly Matched though. At the end of the battle phase, banish a ton of cards except one. If he has the Great Purification to negate the Evenly Matched, that will be ideal. What did we accomplish? Oh boy. Grass looking greener to mill 32 cards off the top of the deck. Then back-to-back reasonings to further mill cards into the graveyard. You have evenly matched to banish everything but one card in the field. Now, what do they have in response to that? We can negate whatever we want with Purification. We can negate any spell with the Harbinger. We could force them to discard a card, which, okay, I'll discard Lurie. We could pop up to 3 cards in the field, then negate a card after pop. We can call with the Grave Finger card engrave, and we can non-target wipe away their entire field of monsters. We also have Ash Blossom. It doesn't look like it, but this is 10 disruptions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus the Max C. Let's go. First, we're going to use a reasoning, because we suspected that he would have negated, but he didn't. I could discard Transaction Rollback instead of the Lurie, even better. After declaring level 10, a revealed Eldlich will not be summoned, but we do play non-Eldlich monsters, and now he sees Transaction Rollback, he sees Evenly Match. Uh-oh. Can the Purification negate a Transaction Rollback? Activates a card effect. It can, in fact, negate. But then we could use the other Evenly Matched. Back-to-back Evenly Match. Now, because we declared incorrectly, we summon an Engraver onto the field. Max C, as we now further link off into Requiem. Battle phase to open up our field. What are we planning here? Well, end of the battle phase, we're going to evenly match now. It's public knowledge that he's got more than one evenly match. He knows it. He sees the graveyard, so he revealed hidden information. But he's still negating it. Okay. Now, the evenly engrave doesn't banish everything but one. It banishes everything. Let's go. Murakumo's going to add the prayers, transaction rollback. I have no cards on my field. Nothing. Ryzeal detonate's going to pop itself. Call by the Grave is going to further finger the engraver as we now lose our entire field. Evenly matched transaction rollback is nuts. Banish the whole field. And we're not done. We've only just begun milling 20 cards. We're going to chain Elixir before the grass resolves to set from the deck the Golden Land Elixir. Oh, we got tons of cards in the grave. We have the Eldlich ready to activate. We're going to activate Hakuero to set another Elixir from the deck. Now to you. Do we have another transaction rollback in grave? We do. We're going to activate it. Declaring Ritual. Again, Ritual monsters are illegal. You could still Xyz summon if you'd like, but just no Ritual. Reborn the Kusanagi. Kusanagi is going to be adding back the prayers. We can return back a monster with the Elixir Glorious Land. Come forth, Eldlich, the Golden Lord. And now let's return back the Kusanagi. Set the Elixir. That's only if we summon it as a monster. Otherwise, it's continuous effect set into the back row, our Elixir. Eldlich, Golden Lord. Come forth as 3,500 attack. But we summon into D. Delta of Invitation will trigger to add back from the grave to the hand. Activates. Activate the Ash in response, mate. You will not be sending a level 5 or higher zombie from the deck to the grave. Negate. And from here, we're going to turn both of our bodies into Varudros. Omni, negate, normal summon, Lurie, mate. Come forth, engraver back into the field by returning back the Requiem. We're going to activate the prayers, tribute off the Kusanagi. And we're not going to negate. We're going to allow it, mate. Come forth, Murakumo. Well, while the Vardros is an Omni Negate. To get around an Omni Negate, all you have to do is Chain Link block the Murakumo. Do we have that Chain Link block? Chain Link 1, wipe away the field. Chain Link 2, Kusanagi, you now cannot negate. Got him. Vardros will be negating the Kusanagi. Sure. Purification is going to be reborning back the Futsu and tributing off the Murakumo. Tribute off. As that gets negated. Pop away the Futsu after negating. Wipe away the entire field. Murakumo trigger when being sent to the grave by tribute to add a prayers, then reborn itself back onto the field. We still have reasoning. Mill until a monster is summonable. Now, it's only activatable if there's still a monster in the deck that is summonable. Otherwise, it would be an illegal activation. Wandering Titan of Tartarus is here. We're going to activate the field spell to summon a token onto the field to turn it into a Link Spider. Link Spider and Titan now go into Little Knight. Little Knight on summon is going to banish away the Murakumo, forcing us to discard away our Cursed Eldland. Now, Cursed Eldland requires us to pay 800 life while we're at 600. We are running low. Elixir is going to set a golden land from the deck. Conquistador is ready alongside the Elixir to pop a face-up card in the field, plus Little Knight will chain banish. Do we have a transaction rollback engrave? We do have a Black Coat Laughs. What else we have? I don't see another transaction rollback. We're out of rollbacks. There's no rollback engrave. Chain the Little Knight to try to banish away the Murakumo. We're going to use the effect of the prayers to dodge the banishment of the Little Knight. And by tributing it, it's going to be reborn back onto the field. Kusanagi's here. We're still ready with the Conquistador to get poppin'. But with a Murakumo on field, we can negate whatever we want. So now we're going to make it so the Murakumo cannot activate. Before it comes out, the in-grave activation's fine. That wouldn't even stop it if you activate it preemptively. It only stops the activation on field. Adding the Habakiri, come forth, Murakumo. You will not negate, and we can Conquistador wipe it away if we want to. Tribute off the Habakiri from the hand to reborn the one in grave. To battle we go. Elixir, if he attacks over Little Knight, it's done. We have 2 ways towards lethal damage. Conquistador, summon. Taking out the Little Knight, not your monster. Your pathway to lethal is gone. Double attack block. Prayers has already been used. Pre-prep is dead. We need the mirror back in the deck. Murakumo will negate whenever. Well, by forcing them to discard a card. If you force them to discard, they're going to discard a rollback. You don't want them to discard. Don't activate it. Black Coat Last declares Masquerena to not be allowed to be activated. We're going to summon the Eldlich Golden Lord by sending the field spell. Come forth, Golden Lord. Trigger the Delta invitation to add back to the hand, and then replay it back. It's crazy that you can make this play. Come forth and summon our Delta token. 3,500, simply big enough to wipe away the Murakumo. At 600 life, we are hanging on by a thread and still controlling this duel. Come forth, Engraver. Engraver equipped with a Requiem will be able to send the Masquerade into the graveyard, but now's the perfect opportunity to wipe away their entire field except the Golden Lord. Golden Lord cannot be destroyed by card effects. We're going to Elixir in response to the Murakumo non-target opposing field wipe to set a Golden Land Haquero onto the field. Wipe the field except the Golden Lord. How do we deal with this Golden Lord? We can Dynamundo maybe. Dynamundo with the Masquerena. Now back to you. Scoops it. What the? That's it. you ran out of juice? Nick's like, nah, I'm done. This deck is endless. Endless resources in the grave, forever recurring Eldlich Golden Lord summoning itself back in the field, indestructible by card effect, so the Murakumo can't destroy it by card effect, and it's bigger than the Murakumo, so it's attacking over Murakumo, unaffected from being destroyed. What's a good way to out it when you are focusing so heavily on destroying it? I guess you need a Habakiri to reduce its attack in addition so that you could finally attack over it. Damn. I do believe Drex is now advancing officially into the top 16, which means we all have his D. That's it. His list will be on the website in the top 16, and I will be copying it.